like such an insomniac. Please take me away from here. Why do I tire of counting sheep? Please take me away from here. When I'm far too tired to fall asleep. To 10 million fireflies, I'm weird cause I hate goodbyes. I got misty eyes as they said farewell, but I'll know where several are if my dreams get real.
Of Ayrton Senna. Ayrton's been my life hero, somebody that means a lot to me. When I started racing, following what Ayrton Senna was doing, I found myself feeling what Ayrton was describing, especially, you know, when he explained that special lap in Monaco in 1988, and he was describing that lap, and when he was in a different dimension, or he could feel that way. I've experienced a little bit of that, and you know, it was very intriguing moments. And from that moment on, I had a role model with Ayrton. And by reading what he said and watching movies of him, I could understand myself a little better and improve myself as a driver. So he definitely is a big example for me in my life. Even though I never met him, I inspired my whole life after him, and understanding what it was all about, what he was thinking, his approach about racing, which I thought was tremendously impressive. He was intense, very focused, dedicated to his sport like no one else. And that strength he had about concentration and all this aura he had around him really was impressive and intriguing to me. Ayrton had a famous yellow helmet, and he was carrying such an aura. I'm going to bring that back to the Indianapolis 500 this year, blend with my usual design on the back, and I'm really looking forward to it. I would like to thank the entire Senna family for making this possible, and especially Vivian and Bruno. Gilles de Ferran, without him I wouldn't have been in contact with the family, and Elio Castroneves for being here with Tony Canaan. And obviously I want to thank Haley, my girlfriend, for making this possible. I'm very honored and very grateful to carry Ayrton's helmet through another checkered flag at the Indianapolis 500.
Simon is unveiling this helmet to celebrate the life of his hero, three-time Formula One world champion, Ayrton Senna, in the 98th running of the Indianapolis 500. This official helmet is approved by the Senna family with a unique blend of Senna's design and, of course, Simon's trademark red scheme. It's beautiful.
Elio Castroneves on the left, Gilles de Ferran to the right of
The month of May started in the courtroom with an injunction by the United States Auto Club against the new league, CART.
I remember having to go to court downtown, and John Frasco, you know, was our attorney. And here we were with great drivers, and potentially Penske cars couldn't even run the race. And I remember the judge finally said we couldn't, it wasn't about Penske not being able to be in the race, it was about people like Mears and Unser and people like that wouldn't be able to qualify and do their business. And we were given a temporary restraining order so that we were lifted the injunction, I guess it was.
On the
Trying out the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on, with all our maze on. I hope the smoky man's in this one, like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like Sting, I'm tantric. Like Snickers, guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai. Gonna get a set of better clubs, gonna find the kind with tiny enough just so my irons aren't always flying off the backswing. Gonna get into my Sailor Moon, cause the cartoonist got the boom anime babes to make me think the wrong thing. How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of losing my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Dropped your arms to the sides and said I'm sorry. 5 days since I laughed at you and said I won't let you leave.
Well, look at this, race fans. The yellow flag is up at the starter stand. That means we are less than 3 minutes away from opening the track on Fast Friday. Finally. There's the number 41 car being towed toward the north end of the racetrack. Martin Plowman drives that car in the A.J. Foyt stable. He's been practicing near 223.5 miles an hour. Activity really picking up now as the cars make their way onto pit lane. Should be a very, very busy period here this afternoon. We'll be keeping an eye on the speeds. A lot of speculation that there will be a 230 mile an hour lap sometime this weekend. It could be today. There you see the fast speeds that we have experienced so far during this practice period that we have had since last Sunday. A 227 by Elio has been the fastest. 226.2 by Ed also, and Kurt Busch, who's been very impressive in the practice period. 1 minute. Tension on pit lane. 1 minute till the track opens. Kurt Busch has been very impressive in the practice periods that we have had. He will be doing the double this year, racing here at the Indianapolis 500 in the afternoon and then scooting off to Charlotte for the 600-mile race there. Stand by. We're just about to go green here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Fast Friday. There it is. The green flag is waving, and the track is open for practice. The track is open for practice on Fast Friday. Paul Blevin is back with us up in the starter stand. He waves the green flag. We are set to go. Joseph Newgarden's car being brought out, so is Sebastian Saavedra. As James Hinchcliffe is the first across the line to get up some speed here. Carlos Munoz did an installation lap, now comes back in. Scott Dixon comes out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. In car number 14. Carlos Munoz just over 224 miles an hour, 224 for Munoz. Pagano returns to pit lane after 228.544. Juan Pablo Montoya, 229.082. The number 2 car of Juan Pablo Montoya from Team Penske, 229.082. We're getting very close to that 230 mark. Montoya 229.205. 229.205.
Bob, I must tell you, I just arrived at the track, and just in time, apparently. Castro Neves doing a number on the folks out there, huh?
We are really close now to 230. Elio Castro Neves moves to the top with a lap of 229.798. Yeah, you got here just for the fun, Bake.
Well,
we've been watching the track dry all afternoon.
Anybody that's watching us over the internet on the north side of town, it's raining up there right now. When I took off, it was pouring down rain.
Don't say that.
And I thought, well, my buddy Bob needs some help down here. So here I am, and boy, I'm just in time. Good stuff.
2 laps over 229, both from Team Penske, Elio Castro Neves and Juan Pablo Montoya. 229.7 for Elio. Serbia, car number 16 is above 225, 225.6.
Maybe we should mention, Bob, and you touched on this yesterday, they get a little more horsepower today. So that's one of the reasons for the jump in speed of a couple of miles an hour.
Yep, today, tomorrow, and Sunday for qualifying, an increase in force. That means more speed, and we have seen the result here in the first few minutes of practice. Montoya comes back in after 7 laps.
I was thinking, Bob, how excited we were yesterday when Ed Carpenter went 226 plus, and now Ed's running 227.7, and he's about 6th on the speed charts right now.
Team Penske apparently has come to play. Castro Neves and Montoya 1 and 2. Will Power has a 223 mile an hour lap. That seems slow. He is 12th on the list. Sebastian Saavedra with a good lap in car 17, 226.137. 226.1 for Saavedra.
Earlier, whatever in the draw, they've got their little lucky charms, or they've got an individual who's representing the team who's supposed to be lucky. So it's kind of fun to watch that.
I think Sarah Fisher brought her little girl Zoe to draw for her for
Why
her
not?
team last year. Yeah.
Got another in the 229 mark, Bob, up in the number 2 spot on the speed charts. There's Hildebrand.
That, of course, is Ed Carpenter's teammate, Hildebrand at 229.3.
Now we've got 4 over 229 miles an hour. Castro Neves, Hildebrand, Montoya, Dixon, Pagano banging on the door at 228.5. What do you think, Bob? Maybe 8, 10, a dozen in the 229 bracket today?
I think so, and I also think, I didn't earlier, but I now think we will see a 230. I think that the gauntlet has been thrown, and Elio is going to go for it, or somebody is going to try to top his 229.7.
What's interesting about the Castro Neves speed, Bob, is he did that in 4 laps. Hildebrand did his in 5 laps, so it's not taking him long to get up to the speed.
And you got to be really careful, of course, during this cold weather with cold tires, but that has not been an issue so far. The track temperature last report was 55 degrees.
6 miles an hour, and I'm 18th on the speed chart right now.
You're 3 miles an hour slower than the fast guy. Well, it's going to be very close when they qualify. I think we have seen that over the past few days of practice. It's going to be very, very close when they qualify. And tomorrow, the goal is going to be for fast speed. Ed Carpenter goes 230. Ed Carpenter has done it. 230.522 for Ed Carpenter. And we have a severe weather advisory for you as rain and possible thunderstorms are approaching. Just exactly what we didn't want to hear.
Gosh, no. Well, Ed yesterday gave us a thrill in the 5 o'clock hour during happy hour, running the 226 plus. And then Elio came out, ran 227. And as you mentioned, Bob, Ed now at 230. And again, severe weather advisory from the National Weather Service. Rain, possible thunderstorms are approaching. If you look across the main straightaway to the west, you can see the skies. To the north, they're not all that bad. But to the south, a little nasty. Let's hope it goes further south.
Crazy Indiana weather at its worst. Carpenter has not really had all that fast a practice period until today. I mean, he's been up there, but not really stealing the headlines, but he certainly has done it today. 230 yellow flag, 522 miles an hour.
And we are indicating we're getting some of those sprinkles that we were just talking about. There's the National Weather Service radar, Channel 13's radar, looking at the screens on the video boards. Bob, the screen is just dotted with those little showers out there.
That's the way it's been all day, and some of the rain is so light that it's not reaching the ground, but with the National Weather Service giving us the indication that rain and thunderstorms are on the way, that could change to a definite situation here. And of course, again, safety is utmost for everybody who works at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway or who visits the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And if we have thunder and lightning in the area, we will tell you so you can take cover. Some of our cameramen who are on high positions, if we get thunder and lightning, will be coming down, and so it creates a whole series of problems. But just continue to monitor us, and we'll tell you if we get any further update on the weather.
I'll tell you how you know it's bad, Bob, when the flagmen start to leave.
Yeah,
I like those close finishes, but I'm not going to have the same result this time.
Oh, man, being in the number 5 car this year, which is the one that beat me last year, now I know how he did it. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy for the team. We had a rough weekend last race here in Indy, and to bounce back with a win in the biggest race of the season, nothing better.
Okay, so you say you know how Dempsey did it a year ago, and you know how Gabby Chavez did it this year. So tell us all, how did both of you do it? Take me through that pass.
Oh, man, I was just in the right moment, in the right position. I tried getting around Zach for second, I think with 2 or 3 laps to go. Tried to position myself to get around Matt in the last lap. And Zach had a good counterattack, so I just said, you know what, I got to go for both of them on the last lap. It's gonna have to happen just on the last lap, and I was able to pull it off. Man, I was sawing at the wheel those last 2 corners because, you know, the outside of this track doesn't have that much grip. But I'm so happy. I'm so happy for the team. You know, Bilardi Auto Racing, they got me in the car this year, and they deserve this as much as I do.
When you pulled in, I noticed that you kissed your hands and pointed to the sky about 5 different times while you pulled in to celebrate. what did go through your mind realizing you're a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Oh man, it's just, with the rough last weekend, race weekend that we had here, I just realized that I let the results get to me. I let my passion be driven by results and not by the love for the sport and how happy I am when I drive a car. And this weekend I told my engineer, I told the whole team, we got to come in here and most important, we got to have fun. We've got to have fun and work hard, and that's just going to deliver the results. And I'm so happy, I put my faith, in the man upstairs, and I'm happy he came through with me.
Why don't you look upstairs right here? You're at Victory Lane at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Gabby Chavez, the winner of the Freedom 100, the Firestone, or the Indy Lights, presented by Cooper Tires.
How cool is that? Victory Lane in Indianapolis. Gabby Chavez was born in Columbia. He has spent most of his life in the Florida area in Fort Lauderdale. He is just 20 years old, and there is the photo finish. Gabby Chavez wins for the third time this season. And let's take a look at the championship now, because it is tight, and obviously it could not be any tighter at the top. Chavez and Veach are even, but Chavez has the advantage for the moment with 3 race wins to 2 race wins for Veach. Razia has already won this season. He is still very much in the mix, just 7 back, and Jack Harvey and Matthew Brabham are still lurking. As good as this was, it is unofficially still only the 3rd closest finish in Indy Lights history. Nothing is, I don't think, ever going to top Chicagoland 2007, when Logan Gomez won by Alex Loido by 5 10,000ths of a second, and last year obviously 26 10,000ths of a second with Peter Dempsey. Well, fantastic. Indy Lights is off for a little while until July at Pocono for race number 8 of 14. The day is not nearly done here. 30 hours of coverage on NBCSN of motorsports this weekend for the greatest weekend in motorsports, and stay tuned for the pit stop competition. Thank you, Joseph Newgard, for coming in. Good luck this weekend. Anders Krohn as well. For Jake Query and Jan Beekes, I'm Kevin Lee. Bob Varsha and the IndyCar crew coming up again in just a moment as Carb Day continues from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Don't forget, coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern Time following our broadcast, a special edition of NASCAR America here on NBC Sports Network. It's a NASCAR America Motorsports special, 90 minutes, setting up a massive Memorial Day weekend of racing action, including more than 30 hours from around the world here on NBCSN. And with that, we welcome you back to our announced position, high above the pit.
The reigning Indy Lights champion, Sage Karam. Outside of row 10, the 2012 pole winner from Australia, Ryan Briscoe. In the middle of row 10, one of our 4 starters from England, Martin Plowman. On the inside of row 10, another rookie driver, James Davison. Outside row 9, after a 19-year absence from this race, welcome back the 1995 champion, Jacques Villeneuve. Starting in the middle of row 9, making his 4th 500 start is Charlie Kimball. And on the inside of row number 9, making his 8th appearance in the 500 from California, Townsend Bell. Let's move to row number 8. Starting outside, former pole winner at Indianapolis from Canada, Alex Tagliani. In the middle of row 8, driving for the legend A.J. Foyt from Japan, Takuma Sato. On the inside, the only woman in this year's race, making her 3rd start from England, welcome Pippa Mann. Row 7, starting on the outside from Colombia, it's Carlos Huertas. In the middle of row 7, the son of the 86 champion Bobby Rahal. From Ohio, it's Graham Rahal. In the middle of row 7, the 2012 Verizon IndyCar Series champion from Florida, Ryan Hunter-Reay.
We move to row 6, starting on the outside for Team Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing, Oriole, Serbia. In the middle of row 6 from Le Mans, France, welcome Sébastien Bourdais. And on the inside of row number 6, the defending Indianapolis 500 champion from Brazil, TK Tony Kanaan. Row 5 on the outside, the first Russian driver to race in the 500 from Moscow. Please welcome Mikhail Aloshin. The middle of row 5, a member of the British delegation driving for Dale Coyne Racing. Here's Justin Wilson. On the inside of row 5, another British driver. Please welcome rookie Jack Hawksworth. Row 4, starting on the outside. He plans to run an extra 600 miles today. An Indy 500 rookie, but a veteran NASCAR driver. Here's Kurt Busch. In the middle of row 4, the 2008 500 winner, 3-time IndyCar champion, Scott Dixon. On the inside of row 4, returning to the 500 for the first time since winning this race 14 years ago, welcome back, Juan Pablo Montoya. Starting on the outside of row number 3, the driver who came oh so close to winning it 3 years ago from California, J.R. Hildebrand. In the middle of row 3, a former Freedom 100 winner from Tennessee, driving for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing, Joseph Newgarden. On the inside of row 3, last year's Indy 500 runner-up, driving for Andretti Autosport, Carlos Munoz. Now to row number 2, on the outside, making his 9th start from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Marco Andretti. The middle of row 2, the winner of the inaugural Grand Prix of Indianapolis from France, Simon Pagenaud. On the inside of row number 2, a 3-time Indy 500 champion from Brazil, it's Helio Castroneves. And now, race fans, the front row. On the outside, making his 7th start in the 500 from Team Penske, the current IndyCar points leader, Will Power. In the middle of row number 1, driving for Andretti Autosport, they call him the Mayor of Hinchtown. From Canada, it's James Hinchcliffe. And finally, for the 2nd consecutive year, our pole sitter, Indy's very own, the Butler Bulldog, Ed Carpenter. Race fans, your starting lineup for the 98th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Let's give them a round of applause.
You know, these drivers feel the pressure. They understand the opportunity, but they also, as James Hinchcliffe told us earlier this week, they feel relief when they get this photo op done, when they're able to go get ready to actually start those engines, because for a month they have been thinking about nothing else than the Indy 500. They have been around the racetrack. It has consumed them. So finally, they are on the verge of being able to get this race underway and find out if they may be the one that ends up drinking the milk at the end of this race. Ed Carpenter knows the nerves that go along with that. Right now, he's standing by with our Vince Welch.
This race